States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You see your beautiful faces out here. This is the time for public participation on non-agenda items, so anything that is not in the agenda, this is the time to speak to that, noting we will not be able to speak back to you, but we will take notes. My clock doesn't work, and the new one only works a little better.
Erica Lawyer, and I guess I'm just wondering why there were two agendas posted for this meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, there was one on 7/31 on the school website for this time and this place to discuss budget, and then there was one subsequent to that with a whole bunch of more added items. So I'm just wondering why that happened and why it was.
Well, I
posted
certainly can
together.
address the reason for that in consultation with Gwen as we were building this, and it was a working document. She had shared with me the specifics of what she wanted to accomplish at the meeting, the MOU for the Cabinet Mountain. These are the things that timely that she wanted to be sure we covered tonight and on the review. So the first one went off more generic, certainly early enough, and then we hoped that the second one would be more informative.
Again, two agendas posted same date, same night, same time. It was on there on July 31st. And then all of a sudden it changed again with no amended agenda. So I know there were people that did not know that some of this was gonna be discussed tonight. I'm just pointing it out.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments on non-agenda items? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, new business. So this is the public hearing on the budget presentation. So we did the workshop. Gwen, do you wanna recap quickly? I know not everyone was here for that.
Yeah, and I think all this time just needs to allow, if there's anyone in the audience who has questions about the budget or wants to comment on the budget, now is the time to do that.
We have comments, questions, concerns about the budget. Erica?
Erica Lawyer. So you had the spreadsheet for the daycare, and I think daycare is great. I'm not anti-daycare, but I don't see any line items there to keep that building, run the phone out there, and all of those things that were always included in those warrants previously. So are those not gonna get allocated to that daycare account now that we've set up an account for that? And does that change how long the viability is for that? And when we're looking at budget shortfall, and I have a kid who I'm paying taxes to have educated, I hope that that's not taking away from things that are supposed to be happening in general fund classroom. So I'm just wondering where the allocation is for that and why it isn't there now.
So the utilities and such have always been just with the rest of the utilities for the properties, the facilities. Is it a different space than what's been used in the past?
Not that was been used in the past, it's the same one that was initiated,
It's the
right?
same building that you used in the past. And just like all of the buildings, they're all in the general fund in the utilities. And it will impact the longevity of the revenue that's been accrued if we divert utility costs and insurance costs. And it's not really necessary to do that. It's, basically the cost of the staff. And even if the building sits empty, we're still going to be paying the utilities and the maintenance on it. So it's appropriate to leave it in with the rest of the facility costs.
I would just, because we broke it out with its account number, I just assumed that they would continue to allocate those things against it as they had been before.
They've never been allocated to daycare before in the general fund.
Bills and warrants would have it listed, daycare,
As what
electricity,
building?
daycare, propane, so.
But all paid out of the general fund and not out of Fund 15 where the money was, right? So it was always in Fund 15 and that's where we paid the salaries and such. But the utilities, even though they were split out separately, were still paid from the general fund, so that hasn't changed.
I don't know, it just looked different because it wasn't in the spreadsheet that was allocated, trying to forecast out how long that was gonna last.
Right.
I was just curious why it
Yeah.
changed.
And then, if anyone has an answer to making sure that if there's a downfall in our general fund, that we are not going to be losing things in the classrooms? Is there any indication that we're going to lose what should be in the classrooms of the general fund being at a downfall right now?
I have no expectation for it. We'll redirect, we'll look at all of the things that we can get, we'll look at new ways to get whatever is needed. We're not gonna let the children or the teachers go without.
Any other comments on the budget? Mr. Baker?
Yeah, I just had a question, did the, you know, as part of this, I don't know the answer to this, but is there, did the hot springs thing get settled out? Because I guess it has some possible ramifications, I guess. Were they able to secure their loan for their $190,000 shortfall?
That I don't know, but since it's not related to our budget, we can't respond to it.
But
At
it
this
could be
time.
related to your budget, I believe, in the extreme case. If you look at how that thing could sort out, you would have to probably go through the county commissioner, but there is a case where, other districts in the county could be on the hook for part of that if it goes to that point. Where you kind of I did it with the county commissioner about that for sure.
I can speak
I would
up.
hope it doesn't go that way, but there is, I mean, there is a chance that,
Since it's not clearly related to our budget, we won't talk about it, but Taylor, if you can answer anything, so that would be great.
Yeah. The levy has been straightened out in Hot Springs, and Hot Springs will be getting their levy dollars for this coming fiscal year. So therefore, even if they do have a loan, it will be an 11-month loan. So the fiscal problems in Hot Springs will be rectified by June 30th of the next fiscal year. So there
So
shouldn't be any ramifications for Plain School Districts.
no, that is the only question.
Yeah. Hypothetically speaking.
Any other, public comments on the budget? We'll go ahead and move on. So consideration and possible action on Cabinet Mountain Cooperative MOU. I would take a motion.
I move to approve the MOU with Cabinet Mountain. I'll second.
Any, comments on the MOU with Cabinet Mountain Cooperative? I know Taylor just addressed what that was about, but does anyone have any comments or questions about that?
I have some experience with these guys in Thompson Falls with some of my CASA kids, and they have a really good program.
I've been working with them in the Chocolate School since 2015, they're amazing, absolutely. Fantastic, they're good at what they do. But any questions or comments about the MOU specifically? Ready to vote on that?
Yes.
Yes, Robert.
Yes.
Yes. Consideration and possible action on the 25-26 Plains K-12 school budget. So with this, there are a couple of items that we need to talk about that will need to be a part of our motion. So I think that it's fair that we talk about that. Some of the things brought up, the tuition fund, we have up to $161,000 if we want to levy that. And then the transportation fund, that discussion of possibly levying up to the 20% for administration. I think it's worth at least talking about. So we'd like to have the discussion before we make the motion.
Is it possible, I know we don't have to submit our budget until the 20th of August, and we have a regularly scheduled meeting on the 18th. Is it possible for us to take a little bit more time and think this through before we vote to approve or disapprove the budget?
A good question. What are the drawbacks to waiting till the 18th?
So you can actually, at the end of this meeting, declare that the budget meeting is being continuing until your next regular meeting. And then that doesn't require another notice and all of that. So you literally can do that.
We can have a little more time to digest it and ask more questions as we go through that, because I don't feel quite comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's, you know, it's a $7 million budget, it's hard to just sit here, you heard about it, you know,
Yeah, I
in the
need
last
to
2
adjust it
hours,
a
and
little
now we
bit.
want you.
Yeah, are there any negative drawbacks to waiting until the 18th as far as getting things submitted on time for other entities?
I don't think so.
All right, and I just move that we would continue the budget conversation till our next scheduled. And consideration and possible action for permission to transfer excess funds and general funds to the interlocal agreement fund. If I understand, this is the thing that you want us to do 2 different things?
Yeah, you're gonna approve the expenditure of the $30,000 that's in the interlocal agreement fund and the move of the $60,000 from the general fund into the interlocal agreement fund.
Now, if I'm reading this correctly, what the agenda says is we are asking only to move the excess funds to general fund to that interlocal agreement. It was not put down on here that we wanted the other one. So my suggestion is we vote on this one and on the 18th add that to the agenda so people know that we're also talking about taking money from that interlocal agreement fund to general fund.
Yeah.
So, any concerns about that from the board or from administration? No? So then I would entertain a motion for just the inside of that.
I move that we transfer the excess funds from general fund to the interlocal agreement fund.
I'll second. Any, comments on that particular piece?
And this is open to the public too. Anytime
Correct.
that we have discussion, you get to talk to us.
I couldn't hear all that, but what was the motion to transfer, an amount from the ESSER funds?
No, from the general fund to the interlocal agreement fund.
Okay.
Yes. Monica? Yes. Robert?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes. Okay, we are adjourned at 6:49 PM. Thank you. Come back next time because we're gonna continue with budget talk.